Hey, good morning, Shannon. Thanks again for taking time to meet with me and Jay this week to talk about our CourseCal platform and your needs as an instructor. I've gone in and created an account in CourseCal for you, and your login credentials are provided in this email. And what we're looking at right now is the instructor dashboard. And this is where you manage your classes, your course content within those classes and your lessons and all the stuff you sort of expect to do. And the primary view we built in CourseCal was the calendar view. And so this is the first view you see. There are other views you have available to you, and I'll talk about those in a moment. But what I really just want to do is sort of show you what's happening here. I'll come back to what I created for you as an instructor, but I first want to go over and look at what the students see. So one of the things we did in CourseCal was create up here, and hopefully you can see my little cursor here, is a student view for the professor. So we learned through interviews that this was important for the professor to be able to see what the student sees when they create course content. So I'm going to click over to there. And as you see, it's very similar. But here in the calendar is where sort of we think our magic happens. So the student first has this area on the left called upcoming assignments. And this is just an assignment feed that gives them a bit of a heads up on what's coming soon. I'm going to take a look at your class for February 11th, which is actually come and gone, but that's okay. And when a student, hopefully you can see my cursor here, when a student clicks on that, they get presented a number of possible pieces of information. In your case, on the left-hand side, I believe on that day, according to your syllabus, there was a theater fact sheet due, and that you wanted it emailed to you at your St. Thomas email. And so you/I have created all that information on the instructor dashboard. Also, here's the sample theater fact sheet you provided to them. And as well, of course, I'm not sure this is the right video, but I found a video about behind the scenes theater in YouTube. And of course, this is all clickable. So when a student comes and checks in their dashboard, they can hit that and go, oh, okay, there's the video behind the scenes at McEwen University. Also, the assignment is clickable. So if I click on that, that's going to go in the Dropbox and should open our assignment. I'm sure maybe I have a permissions issue here, but typically that is linked to your assignment in Dropbox, which you don't have. It's in mine. There's a conflict for that because it's under a different name, so on and so forth. Now I want to go back to your view and sort of show how this was created for the students. One thing I want to point out, because as we come to it, the students really can't do anything to this calendar but click on it and acquire information about what you added for that particular day. And you know, if there were slides or other things, that's where this would appear for them to access. I'm going to go back to instructor view real quick. Now, here, even though it looks even simpler and cleaner, there's a whole lot more you can do. Actually, I'm going to go back to student view and show you first, if we click on the class, this is what the student sees. This is what we call our syllabus view. And here is just sort of a different view and different list of things going on in a class and how to access that. So also what the student sees is this course level content or what we might sometimes we call the universal view, course level, access to a syllabus. Yeah, I've got an issue here on my side with getting permissions. You wouldn't have this issue, but they would pull up a syllabus there, for example. If I click on your side, now I'm back on your side, I see a similar thing. But here I'm actually controlling the content. So I can add these things and yeah, interesting. I can add this stuff, delete it, manage it, and over here you're going to see a roster and another list view of what's happening versus a calendar view in your class. If I wanted to move content for a particular lesson around, I can sort of drag it and drop it here, and it has been updated in the calendar, and it's immediately updated for the students. I'm going to go back out to your calendar view, and this is where we can do a lot of the heavy lifting. A couple things about the calendar. Let's say what is theater gets moved to this date, and I want to do that. I want to switch those around. Like any calendar, it's just drag and drop. And if I go look at the student view, I also see immediately that the content has been changed. So it's immediately available to students. I'll switch those back. And if I want to add a lesson to a particular day, so let's say I come down here to March 11th, and I want to add a lesson, all I have to do is click on that and say, give that lesson a name. I don't have your syllabus up, but lecture, famous haunted theaters, because that's sadly what I think about when I think about theater, is which ones are haunted. Sorry about that. But I just created a new lesson. And to that, I could add any type of content. I might just have some slides I want to add, or a reading, or a link to watch. If I have a specific homework that I'm going to assign a due date to, I can add that. And I'm going to just delete. I'm just going to save that. But of course, then that appears on the calendar for the students down here, lecture famous haunted theaters. So back to your view. I'm just going to click on that and delete it because I don't want it in your class. And so I can add that, and I can add any kind of content, and then that is all ready for your students to digest. And that's really today about how complicated it is. We are adding a couple of new features right now, but I just sort of wanted to show you that you can build this out in the calendar, change that calendar, change the content. It's all linked to Dropbox, so it's really quite easy to update what's happening without having to go through all the steps of deleting, downloading, changing, saving, re-uploading. We're adding an announcements feature and an upload homework feature. Those two things are coming. We're in development on those right now. So take a look at it, and then if you have interest, let me know. We can talk more about what's happening here, and maybe go like, how do we do this? How do we do that? But that's sort of how your class looks in it. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.